Yeah, so I was sitting around in July of 2020 during the pandemic, and there was not much happening, no work to be had in the future. And I get a call from a friend, a mutual friend of Sean's, and she said, "Sean would like your phone number." I said, "Of course." So Sean calls me and he says, we had never met. And Sean says, "Hey, can you please put yourself on your phone and send me this paragraph of this movie I'm doing?" So I sent him my audition, and he loved it. And he said, "Can you please be in Texas in 3 days? Because if you fly here, we have to quarantine you for 7 days, and we need to shoot fast." And then he sends me the script. And I said, "Yes, of course." And then he sends me the script, and then I read the script after I said yes, and I said, "Oh shit." This is a lot of dialogue and nudity, but there's nothing else going on. I have nothing to lose. So I went and I drove there, and we just clicked, and everything just happened very naturally. Yeah, it was when I read the script, I could see that he was not a good person, so I knew that I had to make him likable and charming, and otherwise, who cares what happens at the end of the movie, right? You have to. Me and Sean never even had the conversation about your experience of feeling conflicted, but I just knew he had to be. Somewhat, there needed to be a window of sympathy for him. So if maybe he doesn't mean what he's doing, or maybe he's just surviving, then the audience could stay on board with sort of rooting for him a little bit. And that was really all I had to do. I think was make him boyish and charming and likable. And because it just goes against everything he's doing. So yeah, I think it worked. And what was the other part of the question?
How does one, as an actor, feel in this kid of such a character?
I mean, look, I didn't feel. I basically was just being a worse version of myself. I'd like to, I already have very boyish childlike qualities. I think I'm sort of a man child. I still want to be young forever and not grow up. And maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. But so that was easy. And the rest was really just, there was no time to do a lot of character research or backstory. So I really just used my imagination like a kid would, and it went with my instinct. And there wasn't a lot of time. It happened so fast. There was not a lot of time to overthink it. And I think that's sometimes a better thing in a movie like this, to just go with your instinct and improv. Sean let us improv a lot, so I think about 25% of the movie was improvisational, which is a good amount. And that freedom really allowed for some real moments of listening and responding, and working with the first-time actors who you saw. They were very nervous to memorize their lines, so it helped to just play, and I noticed they would do better just really improvising as well. Yeah, if anything, the whole thing, it wasn't just leaving the character behind as if I was some method actor and I had to dig deep into the depths. I'm not gonna lie and act like that's what it was. It was more the whole experience, shooting during COVID. The whole movie was very stressful. We were shooting on film, which adds more pressure because you want to get the takes right on film and not waste film. COVID testing, working with first-time actors, the amount of dialogue that I had to memorize after not working on something in a long time. The whole thing was overwhelming, and it happened so fast that I think leaving, it wasn't just the character, to answer your question, it wasn't the character that was like hard for me to do. I was just using my imagination, and I it's not like I was Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker and I had to torture myself for 6 months. I just left sort of not knowing what just happened, and I still feel that way. The whole thing has just been happened so fast, from shooting it to Cannes to this. It's all just been like a bizarre Twilight Zone episode. Well, she's 25 in real life, so it wasn't so crazy. as it seems. And I think one of our first scenes was when we had to make love naked. So we got to know each other very fast, which maybe looking back is better. I don't think he planned it this way, but after you do that, then everything else seems a lot easier because you already were so vulnerable with each other that it worked out better that way. And I think also, my wife in the movie, Lexi, one of our first scenes was one of them. So it was not by design, but I think it ended up being better because after that we kind of relaxed, and because we just, we have to understand, we just met that week. Well,
You and Bree.
Right.
But Susie
in
was
the
with
movie.
us for the entire month leading up.
But I didn't meet any of them till I got there a few days before shooting, so I didn't spend much time.
Exactly.
My point is I didn't know them very well. So I was going to say to get naked that fast with somebody, but I've done that in real life too.
Yeah.
That's a good, I think it's, I could tell you what I think might happen, but I don't think it matters because it's up to everyone that's what all of Sean's movies have, an open ending for you to decide. I've thought about it, and I have a feeling he would just make more mistakes, and he goes in circles, right? He starts off in the movie with nothing, and he ends in the movie with nothing, and he probably if he even gets to Los Angeles with her, he will somehow end up ruining everything. But I never really thought about it too much, to be honest, but a lot of people who see the movie always have this question, like, what happens after? I don't know. I don't even think Sean knows. He wrote